Okay, Mike the Madman here, finishing up the first part of my introductory video. I'm going to show you the Wall of Metal. That's my metal collection. These are all metal CDs. Um, and I've got a few more that kind of overflow, but I think I've got a pretty good collection I'm proud of. And my hope is that in future videos I'll be taking a few individual bricks out of that wall and discussing them and talking about my favorite albums and some of the newer additions as I get them, which is what I'm going to do now. I've got a couple stacks of some stuff that I've just picked up recently. We're going to quickly go through them and show you the latest bricks in the wall. So we're going to start with Act of Defiance, which is the band formed by Chris Broderick and Sean Drover after they left Megadeth. Straightforward metal with a new kind of new flavored feel to it. They're really good live. I suggest you check them out if you've not listened to it. Next up, we've got Lost Society, a band out of Finland, part of the new neo thrash movement. These are one of the most talked about bands in that movement that are from the European scene. This is a little stylistically different from their last two. Might not be everyone's cup of tea, but it's pretty accessible and got good memorable songs on it. Next up, from the United States, Ex Mortis, a neoclassical speed metal band. Very good stuff. They're great live. I highly recommend if you get a chance to see these guys, you go out and check them out. They're all over the place on the road, touring here after there, and they're really good. This is good quality American metal. Next up, again from the United States, this time from Dallas, Texas, this is Power Trip. These guys just finished a tour with opening for Anthrax and Lamb of God. Hopefully they'll get some more exposure from that. This is a wonderful album. It's been characterized as crossover, but I don't like to pigeonhole them in that category. In fact, I hear more dark, late 80s Celtic Frost kind of classic metal influence in the songs. But this album is chock full of great riffs and great catchy choruses and great songwriting. It'll stick in your head for days. You'll really like this record, Power Trip, the Manifest Decimation. That's on Southern Lord Records, which is the label that this band is on also. This is Black Breath, the Slaves Beyond Death. This is a newer up-and-coming American metal band. They play more of a blackened, dark thrash, death kind of metal, but not total death metal. I hear some Obituary influences in this when I listen to it, and again, it's an album that's got a lot of great riffs and good memorable songwriting on it. It's a good release from a young American metal band. Next up is kind of a little more full-on death metal. This is Abysmal Dawn, another American metal band. This is their album Obsolescence. I checked them out because they were coming to town a few weeks ago, and I had not been a huge fan of their material, so I wanted to kind of catch up on it, and I listened to their stuff online, and this album really caught my attention. I liked it a lot. It's a more slower, groovier kind of death metal. It's not. It doesn't completely hammer you with non-stop blasting, which I find to be a very monotonous. So the death metal that this band plays is the kind of death metal that I enjoy. The slower, more memorable riffing. The riffs that kind of leave you feeling like you've just been rolled over by a steamroller. And then next up, kind of a change in direction, we've got Holy Grail, another band from the United States, which has been playing traditional heavy metal. Revitalists here the last several years. This is their third record, and if you like Iron Maiden and Judas Priest and that kind of stuff, you'll like this. And there's some modern influence on it too. It's the kind of the clean vocal style of bands like Killswitch Engage and some of the more metalcore bands when they play cleanly and show their traditional metal influences. So there's that modern flavor to it, but a catchy record with good songs. And then we're going to go across the seas to England for this band, Reign of Fury. Really good stuff here. This is more thrash-oriented, but it's a good combination of thrash, speed, and just traditional power, kind of power metal. It's got clean, soaring, clear vocals, which is it kind of sets it apart from most of the newer thrash albums. The singer, he's not brash and gruff. So if you like more clear vocal delivery, this band is for you. There's a lot of diversity going on here, a lot of great style and tempo changes and musical changes. But it's a really solid album. It's a great record. That's highly recommended. And on the tails of that, we're going to get some veterans of the genre here. This is Exhumer with The Raging Tides, their newest Metal Blade release. Man, all I'm going to say right now is that this is an early contender for Album of the Year. It's completely killer. This is a veteran metal band who's been around since the 80s, showing their chops off and delivering the goods and letting everybody know how it's really done. And if you haven't listened to this yet, pick it up and get a copy of it. Magnificent record from start to finish. It's totally killer. And next up, another United States band now. This is Black Fast out of St. Louis, Missouri. I had never heard of them until I saw them open up for Goatwhore not too long ago here in Indy, and I was a big fan of their live set, and I've followed them since then and picked up this album, The Terms of Surrender. They have another kind of an EP that they released before that, but they play, I categorize them as thrash, speed metal, but they're not they don't blast at you again. But the vocal delivery is rough in that thrash metal style. But really a good solid metal release, and they're tremendous live. If you get a chance to see them live, check them out. They're touring all over the place. In fact, they're going to be rolling through town here in just a couple weeks with the band I'm going to show you next. Starting the tour. Well, actually, I'm not going to show it to you because I just took those CDs out to my car. But I was going to show you a couple releases from Hatchet, who is an American metal band, and one of my favorites of the new genre. If you see anything by Hatchet, check them out. They're really good. So we're going to go into a stack of some here. These are some that I haven't opened yet to listen to. We're going to start here with the Entombed AD. Most of you all know who they are. They've been around forever. One of the stalwarts of this new wave of Swedish heavy metal. And this is a band that's done a lot over the years stylistically. They released an album years back, Wolverine Blues, that showed that you can have a lot of diversity and different things going on in the death metal genre. This is a really good record, what I've listened to online. It's got good, memorable riffs, lots of really good bulldozer riffs in it, vocal delivery that you'd expect from the kind of the death and roll kind of thing. Just really good stuff. And this band's going to be coming through Indy too with Ex Mortis in May. And then we've got Hell's Domain, a European thrash band. These guys play the kind of thrash that I really like. It's rough yet melodic with a lot of good bouncy Bay Area influenced riffs, and I'm a fan of the riff, the head banging riff, more so than the speed and that kind of thing. I like a good mid pace thrash metal riff heavy band, and that's what Hell's Domain is. And of course, they've got the obligatory Ed Repka album cover. It seems like every new band is hiring Ed to do their covers. But this is really, really good stuff. I recommend it. Checking it out. Next up, everyone's going to recognize this. This is a classic. It's Merciful Fate. Don't Break the Oath. I'm embarrassed to say I've never owned this in any format. I've listened to it over the years. I've had friends that have had it, but I just have never had it, and I figured it was about time I picked it up. Got a great price for it on Amazon. And what's there to say about Merciful Fate other than they're legendary? And if you've never heard of them, definitely check them out because they were a tremendous influence on every metal band that's been after late 80s. And we've got Primal Fear with their new album Rule Breaker. Again, great traditional power metal in the vein of classic, Priest, Accept, that kind of thing. If you're a fan of big anthemic guitars and sing-songy vocals, power metal, soaring power voices, these guys deliver the goods time and time again. And this album is full of great, memorable songs. that'll have you headbanging for hours. And we're going to wrap it up here with another classic. This is Annihilator, Alice in Hell. Most of you probably recognize it. Again, something I've never had on CD. I've had the cassette tape over the years. I'm so happy to have this in my collection now. Annihilator, I think, is one of the most underappreciated thrash bands that came out of the 80s. And Jeff Waters, specifically, is an underappreciated musician. His guitar tone and his sound of his riffs and his solo work is just very unique, and he gets unnoticed in a lot of the conversations when it comes to metal, classic, legendary metal musicians. But this is a absolute staple in the world of classic metal. One of the all-time great thrash metal releases. I just remember when this came out, it was just absolutely killer, and it still sounds fresh and vital today. And the band is still going strong and putting out good music today. So most of you probably have this. If you've never heard it, give it a listen. You'll do yourself a favor, and it's just great, great thrash metal. Okay, so that's going to do it for now. I've had a lot of technical issues trying to get these videos uploaded. I hope that's going to do. But that's just kind of an introductory video to show the new stuff that I have, the stuff that I like, and hopefully if anybody watches this, they'll enjoy it. And if I've turned you on to a band that you've never heard of and then you enjoy them, then that's been a success. And I look forward to watching your videos and getting some feedback from everyone and having some conversations about the music that we all love. So wherever you're at in the world, have a great day, and remember, horns up.